Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders and local legends that are shaping our town. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by Harvey Cockram, your local head coach from Football Fun Factory. Harvey, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, James. Great to talk to you.
No worries. It's great to have you on. For those of us who don't know you and what Football Fun Factory is all about, who are you and what do you do here in Bishop Stortford and surroundings?
So, being the local head coach in Bishop Stortford and STANSTED, I run a number of sessions throughout the week and try to promote inclusivity and freedom through football, whether that's making friends, whether that's just expressing yourself through football, trying to keep everybody active. So this is for children that are aged 2 to 12. Sometimes it can be younger. We are trying to promote that sort of 18 months at the moment for our weekend sessions, but we're still trying our best to bring in as many kids as we can to play football and express themselves.
Fantastic. I think a great thing about Bishop Stortford is there's lots of young families that are, I imagine, quite sporty. That's why you live in Bishop Stortford, isn't it? Because the amount of opportunities there are to get out and about. Are you busy?
I am very busy at the moment. So I run 12 sessions through the week, 3 of them being in nurseries. 3 of them are Tots Football Fun sessions, which are on a Saturday morning. And the rest, I'm just trying to do the maths very quickly in my head, but the rest, which I believe is, so I've got a Monday evening, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon and evening, and Friday afternoon and evening. So those are my older sessions, which are for children usually aged between 5 and 12.
Wow. And how many children in a week would you be coaching?
We've only just hit a bit of a milestone, actually. So it's gone just over 250 kids.
Wow.
So it's very fulfilling. Like, I really enjoy it. I like to think that I am making a difference on their sporting lives. So even something as little as remembering their name when they come through onto the AstroTurf or through the sports hall straight away, just so they feel as if they are part of that community, even from a really young age.
It's wonderful. Harvey, what was your spark? What got you starting delivering this?
So I went to university and did a sports coaching course at Southampton Solent. I always knew that I really wanted to be in that sort of coaching field. And just after COVID, so in 2021, all it was just an advert on Facebook. I just wanted to see what the Football Fun Factory was about. And after inquiring, I then became a franchisee. In those, what is now coming up to 4 years, it's only made me more enthusiastic about coaching and being able to make that sort of difference. Like, because that's what the Football Fun Factory kind of is as well. It's like, despite, even if it's from them being 2 or them being 10, some are still taking just their first steps into football. Doesn't really matter what age. So we want to build their confidence and give them that sort of motivation, just to try and take them first steps into football as well.
That's wonderful. I think there's a great thing about coaching is you get this kind of altruistic feedback loop where you help someone and it makes you feel good because you help someone improve.
Yeah, absolutely.
At something. So I understand why being a coach is so rewarding. But helping 250 kids a week, you're having a massive impact on the community and people's families. And as you say, it might not necessarily mean that football's the end goal. Confidence, building their character, all of those kind of elements. You must see some incredible growth in the last 4 years with the children you've been working with.
Yeah, definitely. So where my sessions range from 2 to 12, I've had children there for, I think I've got at the moment maybe 3 of the children at my sessions at the moment have been here for the entirety of the 4 years, which is absolutely amazing, because obviously it then builds that relationship with myself and my assistant coaches as well. But it's also those kids that are going from Tots Football Fun, which is for 2 to 5 year olds, then going into an older session, which is from 5 to 12. And it's like bringing them into a completely different new environment and seeing them grow in that new environment as well. Like, as we say, like socially, so making brand new friends, because they've obviously going into something that they have absolutely no idea about. So it's great. Yeah.
And that's fantastic. What you mentioned you were working with a couple of nurseries at the moment. What does that look like compared with your normal sessions that you're delivering?
So with the nursery sessions, it's basically just me going into a nursery and delivering what we refer to as truly unique footballing experiences to those nurseries. So in like smaller doses, so we do it's half an hour sessions, and whether that's outside or inside, we try and make it work the best we can. As long as there's a group of children that just want to be there, even if they didn't want to be there, it's about then that's our job to make them want to be there as well.
And when you're working with the nurseries, are the carers that are already in the nurseries, are they getting involved as well? Is that part of it, or are they just left with you? How does that work?
They do tend to get involved purely because they're 2 to 4 year olds really. So I try my very, very best to control them. But at the same time, I think they want. It's almost like adults also want to get involved. They want to see the experiences that we're trying to deliver, especially when it's me trying to prove myself to them. Like I've only been in nurseries now for coming up to 3 weeks, and that I'm still trying my best to show them what the sessions are about, especially because it's new things every week. Trying to build, there might be a certain objective for 1 week, it might be just about balancing, for example, or just catching, like hand-eye coordination. Obviously, we try to explain that in much simpler terms. But yeah, it is a little bit different to my weekend sessions, but at the same time, I still think it's just as important.
It's just as important, and maybe more so, because I think the weekend sessions, you've already got a motivated parent that is taking the kid along to do the exercise. But by going into nurseries, you're getting a whole new part of the population that might not be exposed to sport and well-being so early on in their lives. And maybe even when they get to school, they haven't gone to any kind of sport clubs there. So you're giving them that first taste of movement and getting their bodies, moving in the right kind of way.
Absolutely. Just as I do, so I run 3 after-school sessions, and even when I have parents sign their children up to that after-school session, a lot of them that are going into that have only just gone into nursery, I have parents emailing me to say this is actually their very first club. We're a little bit nervous and concerned. So it's then, as you say, it's then bringing that club earlier into their life so they can understand what it's all about and then prepare them for primary school.
Yeah, totally. So if there's a nursery out there, or there's a parent that's listening that when they take the kid to nursery, they don't have access to the work that you're doing, what's the way that a nursery could engage with you and get started? How does that process work?
So anyone is more than welcome to email me. I'm very open to any emails from any parent or nursery. My email is harvey@thefootballfunfactory.co.uk. And then it's just a case of us doing our best to work something out. I'm more than happy to have a taster session just so they can understand what the sessions are about, which is exactly what I did with a nursery called Banana Moon. They had me for a week and then said, "Oh, it would be great if you could be here every week." So that's something that I offer. I also have a number of socials as well, so Instagram and Facebook, so you can contact me on them as well if that was easier for them as well.
Fantastic. Well, we'll definitely put the links to that in the show notes. So if there's any nurseries out there that are interested in getting involved with what Harvey's doing, or if there's any other parents that think that their nursery should get involved, they can fire towards you and have a conversation. That sounds great. Harvey, thanks for that so far. Are you ready for some Stortford Spotlight questions?
Yep, absolutely.
Wonderful. These are 3 questions that we ask every guest that comes on the show to shine a light on Bishop Stortford and some of the other people, other legends out there that are making the town a better place to live.
Today's podcast is brought to you by a great local business helping people take back their time in Bishop Stortford. If your weekends are getting swallowed by cleaning instead of time with your family, I get it. As a dad of 2 young boys, I know how fast those moments can go, and I've been let down by cleaners before. That's why I use Time For You Cleaning. They're reliable, friendly, and give you one less thing to worry about. If you want your time back, head to timeforyou.cleaning and let them know the podcast sent you. Get back your precious time and support local. Right, back to the show.
First question. If you could put one sentence on a billboard in Jackson Square, what would it say, and who do you think needs to read it the most?
It would probably be three very simple words. I would just say inclusivity in sport, because it's what relates to the Football Fun Factory as well, is that no matter whoever it is, we will always welcome them into one of our sessions, just like anybody else should, really. So yeah, but it's very difficult to explain, but at the same time, it's down to inclusivity, really.
But that's a really big thing at the moment, you know, with so many kids that aren't experiencing sport and experiencing wellness and fitness, as you're saying, the more that you can diversify the population that are accessing sport and well-being, you know, the better it is for the community in general. So that's a great sentiment. And I hope anybody out there that isn't already getting involved in, you know, some clubs for their kids or you know, the nurseries that aren't getting involved with that, you know, reach out and see if Harvey can make something happen. This is a great message. Thanks, Harvey. Where do you go? So question 2, where do you go in Stortford that you secretly hope never gets too popular?
Previously, I went to just the cinema. It was a lovely cinema, but now that's closed. But I've heard that they're actually going to be making a new cinema, which will be fantastic. But at the moment, I go to a place called Pepe's Piri, which isn't not a lot. I don't go to a lot of places. I love to go to a coffee place, but at the same time, if I even if I know it's like it's a franchise, isn't it? But at the same time, I'm trying my very best to support local businesses as well.
What's your number one go-to there? What do you order?
I get chicken and rice. That is my go-to.
Easy.
I know it is very easy, and I know it's probably something that I could make by myself. But at the same time, I do love getting it from there as well.
Fantastic. Great shout. And yeah, well, before as well, you said you liked the cinema, but it wasn't popular enough. That's why it shut. So
I know
when the new cinema opens, let's all of us get down there and make sure it stays open. Very important. Hopefully we'll do a show on that at some point. Okay, question 3. Who's doing something special in Bishop Stortford that more people need to know about?
I would say there's one individual in particular that I think is making a pretty huge difference. He's a personal trainer in one of the gyms, actually, and it goes back to that first question about inclusivity and trying to engage people and bring them into not just sport but just fitness in itself. So his name's Josh Glean. He's a fantastic PT. I've used him myself. He's someone that really does understand everybody's needs and helps you set those sort of goals for yourself. So whether that's in a couple of weeks' time, it's just those like short-term goals and long-term goals that he can help you with. But he's excellent and he really does help.
That's wonderful. Well, you know, we'll link to Josh. Maybe he can be a future guest on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
As
well. Yeah, definitely.
So you know, reach out to him and we'll see what we can do about getting him involved. That's wonderful. So Harvey, where's the best place for people to follow along with everything you're doing with the Football Fun Factory in Bishop Stortford and STANSTED? How can we follow along?
So to follow the sort of journey of the Football Fun Factory in my communities, I would suggest either just requesting to be my friend on Facebook or following on my Instagram. They're the two main platforms that I use. There is quite frequent updates on the Football Fun Factory website of what everybody's trying to do, new sessions that are launching. But for me personally, I would say my two social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram.
Fantastic. And we'll link to those in the show notes, and we'll also put your email address up if there's any nurseries out there or parents that want to reach out to add those into their nursery session, so we can make it as simple as possible for anybody that's out there. Harvey.
I know he's in mine already. Going to be
You put him in my head. Harvey, thanks ever so much for joining us on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast today.
James, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
That's okay. No problems. That's a wrap. If you enjoyed this episode and you're listening or watching on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, the best way you can support us is by leaving a review, making a comment, share it on your socials as well. Maybe with someone in town that you think might be interested in what Harvey and the Football Fan Factory are offering. Maybe someone who you think isn't on social media as well, that might be interested in what's going on in Bishop Stortford. And if you've got a local legend, someone like Harvey or Josh, that we should feature next on the podcast, drop me a message or tag them in the comments so that we can share their story with the wider community. That's it from me today. Go and do something. Go and support someone local and make Bishop Stortford a better place. Have a great day.
If you run a business built on trust, but your website's full of stock photos and silence, we need to talk. True Tone Testimonials helps coaches, consultants, and other service providers turn real client stories into high-converting video content. No scripts, no fluff, just honest words from real people who already love what you do. They're professionally filmed and ready to drop onto your site or into your socials. Head to truetonetestimonials.card.co. Let your clients do the selling. Okay, support local. Let's get back to the show.